Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to preview Chemical Overload. This game is coming to Kickstarter soon, or maybe if you're watching this, it is currently on Kickstarter. If you like these videos, you should do what, Bob?
You should like, subscribe, ring the bell so you get the notifications when they come out, and find us on Discord because we're there. We talk all the time. We give feedback. We like feedback from you guys and take your opinions on things. And,
Yeah.
And they do a Whiskey Wednesday, too.
That's right. In the live stream, I actually held up the box cover and said, hey, guys, we're going to be doing a video of this soon, so be ready.
Yeah.
So you will get some sneak peeks, as to
And
what's
we have
coming.
giveaways, so it's good to check our videos.
That's why it's good to have that bell rung so you get the notifications because you don't want to miss out.
All kinds of good stuff. But now let's get to the real good stuff. So Chemical Overload is sort of a deck building game.
Yeah,
I would definitely call it deck building.
Where you are, you start with 4 red and 4 blue chemicals in your deck and a couple of flasks, and you shuffle. You draw 5 cards, and you get on your turn to do 2 actions, and then there's free actions. So a free action could be playing a potion or activating a potion, and or putting a flask down on the table in front of you in your play area. But other than that, then your actions are basically you can pick up a chemical, or you can trade in some stuff to upgrade a chemical. You can make a potion if you have the flask size and the ingredients needed, or you could buy a flask, or you could take a coin.
Yeah.
And if you gain a chemical for whatever means, it goes to the top of your deck. It says so on the card. It just says deck. It tells you where it goes.
Yeah, I like that. It says either table or deck.
So it either goes down on the table in front of you or it goes to your deck. And then, so if you make a chemical or make a potion, you spend the chemical, you put all the chemicals out that you're putting in that potion. I just put it on the flask or underneath the flask I was putting it in.
And then they go to the discard pile.
Then you get the potion, you put that on top of your deck, and then everything, when you're done, at the end of your turn, everything that you used, including the flask to make that potion, goes to your discard pile.
Yes.
And then that way you're going to draw those flasks later again.
Right. You can reuse the flask.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You wash
technically
it
the
out.
chemicals too. Yeah. Rinse it out. Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's pretty straightforward. As you are making these potions, some of them have this green
toxin.
Yeah, I put it on a green screen, but it might just disappear.
Yeah, you won't see it.
And then that will increase the toxicity level.
Yeah.
Toxic level.
And
Contamination.
the contamination. No, that's just the name of that
that's
card.
just the one. Yeah.
And so that's does a couple of things. That card is going to create a new set of, or an extra rule.
Set of rules that you're going to have to abide by depending on what level you're at.
And they could be good or bad.
Correct. They
Yeah,
both directions.
lower levels are kind of good, and the higher levels seem worse. And the couple that we
this
saw.
one, overpowered, lower level, take 2 potions. Higher level, each player may take up to 3 actions per turn instead of 2. So each one is going to
a lot of
good or bad,
variation
it's
there,
random.
and there's a lot of those cards in there, and you see 4 of them per game. So
Right.
Yeah.
a lot of replayability with
Oh
that.
yeah, a lot. And I mean, there are so many more than just these here.
Yeah, that's some too that I
Those
noticed when I was
decks
looking at the
right
rule
there
book.
Are all the
Yeah.
others
Extra potions that you can choose from. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot
Lot
going on
replayability.
there.
And they on the back of the rule book, they give you combinations recommended.
Some recommended, or you can just pick
I
randomly.
guess you could just randomly
you,
pick.
Or
As you get
draft,
better.
everybody picks 2.
Because the board does say, right, here's 3, there's 2, so it tells you what
What
number
Make it fair.
Yeah.
level, so you're balanced and everything. And then most important, back over here on this toxin track, when you get all the way up to the top, basically you play till everybody's had the same amount of turns.
Right. Once that toxin explodes, you finish out the round,
And then
it's over.
Yep. And then it is most alchemy points, and then the first tiebreaker is coins, and then after that is most potions made.
Yeah.
And there's still a tie after that. Get over it and be friends because you're gonna have to share that victory, right?
Well, it depends who it is.
Yeah, sure. Totally fair. Since this is a Kickstarter preview, we're not really going to comment too much on specific components. I will say I enjoy the artwork of this game quite a bit. I
I do
like the
too.
colors. I think
vibrant.
the colors and the iconography all pop.
And that was gonna be my comment about the components is that even though there are reds and greens, they're very specific. One's a triangle-looking shape icon, and the other one's a rounded ball-looking shape. Gloopy blob. Yeah, so it was very easy to discern and tell those apart.
So yeah, those weren't a problem
Not
for
a
you at
problem.
all.
Even in the smaller icons for what the potions cost has that same icon there, so it's easy to tell what it was.
So really good.
And it has a picture of each flask on the card that it needs.
Yeah, which flask it takes to make it.
Right. So
they've got
the number, but you also do see the flask as it is included as one of the ingredients, which answered a question for us when we were playing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, a real simple one. It's like, oh, well, do you get rid of this? Well, yes, it's part of the cost.
Yep.
So I really appreciated that design in there. I thought the potions were all pretty interesting and useful. You know, like there was
any really, maybe the butterfly one was the one we didn't use.
No, I used it, and I got a free sapphire potion out of it.
There you go.
Well, free.
Yeah, all the potions got used, like in our game, and some more than others, but they did all get used.
Yeah.
And so that's a good sign,
that is
right?
Good,
like at least that one. And I just picked a recommended play set off of the back, so the fact that they all got used to me is a good sign. 3-player game with learning did not take that long.
No,
not at all.
Maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah, because you're spending some time maybe trying to figure out your combination, but like Bob's action isn't gonna really mess up too much of my turn.
Not really, unless I go up a toxin level and that new card.
Right, that could change.
And I haven't. But I looked through most of those. I haven't seen any like attack cards.
Right. There's no real versus cards or counter drafting that you
and another thing I thought was cool is it's not just like all of these level 6 potions are the only ones, and now they all are like the higher toxin levels, right? So they do all increase that toxic level, but these lower level potions, there's a variable amount in there.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, and it's just whatever you get.
You gotta be eagle-eyed, because you might miss that it's a toxin one when you're just you're going through the motions. You also have to make certain you're looking down at the thing at the bottom that says deck or table. That's the one gripe I have. There's no difference. It's both
maybe
brown on
color or something like that.
I guess I don't have a gripe with it because I read it.
Sure.
And knew what I was doing.
Well,
I knew to watch for
no,
it.
I watched.
But it could be a different color, like the yellow one is the deck, and then the blue one is the table.
Because that's like the new mechanic for me is you can get some that go to the table immediately and can activate.
And some things are on top. Yeah, nothing goes to your discard pile like that.
Oh yeah,
usually when you gain something, you're
going
going to get to use it right away, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah, I liked that aspect quite a bit. I thought that because that also allowed me to plan some turns.
Right, because you could like do something and put it on top and be like, I'll play this card to draw a card.
Yeah, and and I built like I spent around like building up for my next turn. And so like I knew the hand I was going to draw was exactly going to be what I needed to make a potion for the next round.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. I like deck builders quite a bit, and for me, this did a good job of not being just another deck builder. Like,
yeah, and that's what when you first pulled, I was like, oh, another deck builder. But I was pleasantly surprised with like some of the versatility, the way it works, the mix of the potions. I did like the player aid. Is rather nice too. It's got a list of all your actions on it. It'd be nice if there was a list of the free actions, maybe.
Oh, sure.
On there too.
Well, we're still in development, right?
Sure.
So they could add something like that.
They could add that, but still, like what you get is still helpful.
Yes, and again, right? It's 2 actions. You get to do 2 things.
2 things.
So that also keeps the turns kind of fast, or a little bit faster. You
Unless
might
you're
take
Spencer and you're drawing 8 cards a turn.
Right.
I can't. I have so many, and that's another thing is when you're playing the game, you can keep cards in your hand.
Yeah, you don't have to
instead of discarding them all every round. So I can actually set up. I had one part where I was like, well, I might be able to get a green triple if I keep these 2 greens in my hand.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it's a nice aspect too, where you don't have to use or lose all the cards in your hand. It's like, oh, I'm going to keep this 3 blue and just wait because I know my 2 greens coming up, and I want to try to make that sapphire potion. So,
yeah. I mean, overall, again, a lot of this stuff can change between now and like the actual final production, but overall, I mean, I was fine with the design of everything. I appreciated that the icons, right, for the different colored, chemicals or whatever all work. They all make sense. The game is pretty intuitive.
Especially for someone who's played any kind of deck builder.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, right. There's also there's some new things like, but the trading in stuff and then remembering where it goes, but even then it's like, okay, like a turn or 2 and you kind of got the idea of what's going on. And I like games that you can pick up easily, but I do feel like that there would be
simple or intuitive rule set.
But there's going to be complexity and a ton of replayability with all these crazy different combinations of potions you could use.
And the toxins, that's such a cool idea that changes the entire game every few rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that it's really easy to see the points that each card is worth. Very few of them are actually worth any points.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just right there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe half, 2, 4. Yeah, not even half. A third of them, whatever. 40% of them.
Yeah,
were worth points. It's still pretty good. Pretty good. Do you guys have anything else on like final thoughts before we just give this a recommend or a not?
Nope, I said what I was
pretty much covered
meaning to say. Yeah. Hi guys, this is Bob from the Board Game Rundown. We started our own Patreon, and for just $5 a month, you can help keep our shelves stocked full of board games for you guys to watch us play and review and preview for you. So please go to our Patreon page, sign up, help whatever you can, and we hope to see you more. Thank you.
Okay, so because this game is not out yet, we're not going to give it like a rating from 1 to 10 like we would if this was like a published game. But we are going to just go around and say if we would recommend it or not, right? Like, because Kickstarter, you want to know, like, is this something you would find interesting? So, Bobby, get us going. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of deck builders, I think this is interesting enough and different enough from like normal standard deck builders to where you'll have a familiarity of the base rule set, but there's enough differences to draw you in and worth checking out. So I would recommend it.
All right, on. How about you, Spencer?
I would definitely recommend it, especially since I'm pretty certain my 11-year-old would have no problem playing this. Yeah, this is a kid-friendly game. It's definitely a recommend.
Yeah, I think for everything you guys just said, I also like the theme quite a bit. Like, I know that we all sort of, like sort of that mad scientist-y, kind of feel.
It doesn't hurt that I married a raven-haired, curly-haired chemist.
Listen, the box art is not final, so don't base your decision on whether or not you find Spencer's wife on the cover of a box appealing to you. But
no comment.
But yeah, I just, this game does a lot of things right. I had no complaints while playing it. You know what I mean? Like, just this would be one that I would want in my collection. I definitely recommend this. And there's going to be people that I know will like this game. There's going to be people that will be like, nah, this isn't your style. But I think with the market being set as always being a thing, it's not like you have that refresh the market because I can't do anything. Right. It's like, no, get the stuff you need.
Everything's available.
You will be able to do the things. So I thought that was really good. I had a really good time with it. Strong recommend.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else before we send Chemical Overload off to its next home?
I would say I would not go overboard paying a lot of money on secondary market for this if it becomes expensive.
It's not even on primary market yet.
Yeah, it's not even on primary market.
I'm just saying, when it hits and people are going to try to sell their copy for 3 or 4 times its actual value, and I would say wait till it goes back down to a normal price.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
Yeah, just get on Kickstarter. You're fine.
Get on Kickstarter. Don't miss it.
And you're fine. All right, guys. Well, this has been a strong recommend from all of us. So for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob. Spencer.
We'll see you next time.